Copyright and the public domain in our online sharing culture. Or, can I use content that I find online? Let's imagine you want to build a blog about mice. Your blog needs pictures, but you're not a photographer or an artist. So what are your options? You could take an image found on Google, but just because something is available publicly doesn't mean it's in the public domain. It's likely most images are protected by copyright, and you can't just publish an image that's owned by someone else. Works don't enter the public domain until 70 years after the death of the creator. Under these copyright laws, you'll be waiting a long time to find pictures of a mouse for your blog. So unless you pay for every image you use, or someone gives you permission to use their work, you're out of luck. So what about fair use? In the US, fair use is more lenient than Australia's equivalent, called fair dealing, so it's not really suitable for a personal blog. None of this sounds very fair though. The internet is built on the sharing of user-generated content, and these restrictive copyright laws don't really seem to support our participatory culture. There are millions of pictures of mice online. Why can't they be in the public domain for you to publish on your blog? Surely no one will notice if you use just one photo. Yeah, they'll notice. Companies like Getty Images use bots to troll the internet, searching for photos that are being used in breach of copyright. If you've stolen an image, you might end up needing a lawyer. So where does this leave your blog about mice? Creative Commons is a not-for-profit organisation designed to help people navigate restrictive copyright laws in order to make online content more accessible and build a culture of sharing. They provide a range of licenses to choose from, so those who want to share their work can decide which conditions they're comfortable using. So how does it work exactly? Meet Sarah, the artist. She specialises in drawings of mice. Creative Commons believes that music, photos, and art like Sarah's should be available with minimal restrictions or in the public domain, so that they can inspire and be built on by others to make new works. Sarah uploads her work to her website or to a sharing site like Flickr. She chooses which Creative Commons license she wants to use for each item, and the relevant symbols are displayed next to each image. So when you perform a Creative Commons image search, you'll find Sarah's picture along with many others. By visiting the page where the image is located, you can review the Creative Commons conditions of use. However, there is one cartoon mouse who you won't be able to find on Creative Commons anytime soon. A social media theorist called Clay Shirky delivered a TED Talk in 2012, in which he told of a local bakery who had to stop their customers from bringing in images of well-known cartoon characters to be placed on top of their birthday cakes, because they didn't have the capacity to police whether the images breached copyright laws. Shirky warns that large media corporations like Disney lobby governments to pass bills that aim to stifle online content sharing. Such companies are likely to make more money if everyone has to purchase content rather than accessing it through online sharing. So how did we get here? Why does Disney care about what picture is on top of your birthday cake? When copyright was introduced in the United States, works were only protected for 14 years before they entered the public domain. Over the years, the American government extended the length of copyright periods, and when Disney released their first animation in 1928, Mickey Mouse was protected for 56 years, due to enter the public domain in 1984. In the years leading up to Mickey's copyright expiry dates, large corporations like Disney lobbied to change copyright lengths, and on 2 occasions they were successful in keeping Mickey out of the public domain, with one extension to 2003 and then another until 2023. So maybe right now you're thinking that Disney worked hard to build their business and they deserve to profit from copyright. And that might be true, until you discover that many of Disney's movies are created from works that they took from the public domain. Just let that sink in. The company who is trying to keep their work out of the public domain uses the public domain to create new works. So what does this mean for Sarah the artist, and for your blog? If artists like Sarah restrict their work from entering the public domain for decades like Disney, you won't have access to many free images to put on your blog. But if artists like Sarah place their work into the public domain, they'll be giving up exclusive rights to earn an income and won't be able to afford to make anything worth sharing. and you still won't have pictures for your blog. As a community of creators and consumers of online content, we have a responsibility to establish a fair balance between accessible content that serves our sharing culture and that works to protect the livelihoods of creatives.